Watch Transit TV.
Right now.
I'm Tochku Michael. Keep watching Transit TV.
Players, the goal is to buy players that are young and give them 7, 8 years to develop. And sometimes
they have a lot of players loaned all over the all over Europe. So if they perform there, sometimes they sell from there and make. Transit TV, welcome back again to Let's Talk Show. You know, this is a new show on Transit TV where we look at contemporary issues or particular clubs on this channel, basically not analyzing any game, talking around issues or clubs. This show started last week. We looked at Arsenal. If you've not seen that video, please check on the channel. We'll also put it on the screen on this video for you to see, to have an understanding of no banter. This is a safe place for you to come and give your view. No banter, no emotional attack. It's all pure, straight talk and facts. So today we are discussing Chelsea, and I have with me no other than our own Nimi and Bados. These two guys, they bleed and breathe Chelsea, and I hope they're going to give our viewers today objective views, because today is a no emotional way, no banter. There's no Arsenal, there's no Manchester United, there's no City. It's all about Chelsea today, guys. You are welcome to the show. Nimi, it's been a while. Bados, I'm not seeing a little bit. You guys have been chasing this dollar, man.
Man, it's good to be on Transit TV. You know. It's been a busy period, but it's a good thing to be back. You know, I mean, it's all about Chelsea this time. I hope Mimi will also agree now that things have changed.
Thank you very much, Ray, for having us. You're right. It's been a while. Been doing things outside Transit TV, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that our conversation today will be chill and mellow. The last time I was sitting there with Bados looked into the camera and said Chelsea is bringing the league, and we finished at 10th. So I don't know. I hope Bados will be coming with some Bados moves today.
Okay, guys. Yes. Good to see you guys. We're going to go a little bit on the last couple of years, just for a few minutes. Then we'll come to where Chelsea is at the moment. The 2022 was a very turbulent year for Chelsea and Chelsea fans. We had the issue, the Ukraine and Abramovich linked to the Ukraine and the Russia war. Eventually, he had to go. New owners took over. Tuchel managed to see Chelsea through that season, and by September 2022, Tuchel was sacked. The new owners employed Graham Potter, who had done some very good job with Brighton. Many thought that it was going to be a very good one for Chelsea, but that marriage did not last too long. Before the end of the season, he was fired, and Lampard came again on interim level. Just like his first coming, also ended in a very disastrous manner. And that season ended. Chelsea hired Pochettino not this summer, the summer before this last. And he also looked at that appointment was something that, including me, a lot of people thought was going to be a good one for Chelsea as well, considering his experience or history with young players, what he did in Tottenham and going to PSG. And again, depending on what side of the spectrum you look at it from, it wasn't a very successful one, though Chelsea picked up toward the end of the season. But surprisingly, at the end of the season, Poch was also had to leave Chelsea. So, guys, let me start from you. You know, with this background, as a Chelsea fan, how did you see all that? The process of, Abramovich leaving Chelsea, then Todd Bowley coming in. When they came in with all these things I've written, that the Tuchel exit, Potter coming in, Lampard coming, Poch. How did you just talk us through your emotion as a fan or during that period?
Thank you for having me. It's not a good thing to see just like if you have a company and then you see everything not going according to plan, with the invasion of Ukraine and then forcing Abramovich to sell Chelsea, it came with a lot of
Emotions.
turmoil, like internal problem, and uh, nobody knew what was going to happen. So when they decided to sell the club, they sold the club to two people that I would say don't even know football. And from there, everything was, downwards spiral. But like you said, we continue to change coaches and players going, coaches coming in and out. So it wasn't a good environment for people to play. Even if you're a good footballer, you want to be in a place where
Yes, that's
uh,
stable.
that is settled. You go and enjoy your game. But after Thomas Tuchel left, and then I think Potter and then Lampard, it was still a disaster. You remember, all these guys never played before, and then we got Pochettino to settle the dust and everything. They didn't let him finish. Where we are today, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Enzo Maresca never set the standard. It was Pochettino." When you have a coach that have all the players in a good moment, we were winning games towards the end of last season. So you will want that movement or momentum to continue to the next season. I don't know what happened between the owners and Pochettino, but the thing is, Maresca right now it's not even he's not doing the magic.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
just
we'll get to Maresca. We'll get to
okay.
Maresca.
So
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm saying, well, as a coach, as a Chelsea fan, that's part of the problem. Coaches coming and going, nobody knew what was going on. But right now, I think the dust is settling a little bit, and that's where we are.
yeah, yeah. Me too. As a Chelsea fan, of course, you experience all that. I would like to hear how you felt about that, and but most especially those first few years, second 2 years of these guys running Chelsea, Todd Bowley and the Clear Lake Group. Well, what have you made of their reign up until this season? We'll come to this season.
Yeah, I think just like every Chelsea fan, when Abramovich was leaving, most of us, who chalk of us, we've known Abramovich, we know what he's associated with. We know how it is. You as a coach, you come in there, you don't perform, boom, you're fired. We were, playing or being at a level of the higher echelons of everything. Excellent. So when the Russian war started and news started filtering in that Abramovich was not going to be the owner again, most Chelsea fans were just wondering what would happen. And when we found out it was going to be an American businessman that owned a baseball, NFL, a group of investors. Investors, what they are looking for is profit. We know for years that Abramovich went. Chelsea wasn't a selling club, but we bought the best of the best players at their prime. So it was kind of different. When they came in, I was skeptical, and they showed us why we needed to be skeptical with all of their initial purchases, thinking football was like baseball, where they give multi-year contract and the way they look at the game and everything. And, it translated into the field. It translated into the confidence of the players, where were Champions League winners when they came. Tuchel was there. And before you knew it, they let Tuchel go and came up with Graham Potter based on statistics of Brighton. And Graham Potter did what he did. And, Frank came. Frank did what he did. And Pochettino came. And Pochettino did what he did. And now we're in this season. I don't think Chelsea fans should be ahead what Brado said. We shouldn't be carried away. It's just 6 games of the season. Let's see these players gel. Let's see them. We are seeing some beautiful football, but let's see how it goes. Definitely, we're in a situation at Chelsea now where you buy players. The goal is to buy players that are young and give them 7, 8 years to develop. And sometimes you may get a Cole Palmer. Sometimes you may get a Mikola Mudryk.
Yeah, it's good you mentioned that. But I know sometimes when you in fan to fan conversation, Chelsea fans try to find a way to defend what's going on in Chelsea. But like I said, today we're doing straight talk. Like we need to mention their chaotic transfer habits and activities, buying players all over the place. As long as any good club wants to buy a player, Chelsea goes there, drop money and pick up the player. I know that they had over 40 senior players in their books, and this caused a lot of problem for coaches and even for the fans, because everybody has a player that he likes somehow or he doesn't like, and this became, and again offering this 7 years, like Nimi mentioned, 7 years contracts to players, 8 years sometimes. Something like Tumana is on 9, and this brings inconsistency in performance of players, because you don't really know where you stand with the coach. The coaches kept talking and changing because you have a lot of options and you want to keep everybody busy and happy. So do you think, what do you make of that approach? Right now, it looks like Chelsea has cooled down, but I believe that it is because they're running on a very tiny rope with FFP. That's basically why they have to slow down. Do you think that mojo, are there benefits to it? Giving players 7, 8 years contract and having a lot of young players in your books. Is there anything good about that approach, in your own opinion?
The only thing good about this is for the player. So if I get a 9-year contract, I know I'm not going anywhere. So if I perform or not, it's not my business, right? So it's for the player. But as far as the owners are concerned, that's how they want to go. That's their model. Like Mimi was saying, Abramovich, what he did before was go buy the top people in their prime. Right now, these people are not doing the same thing. So they believe like you're going to get all these young players, give them long contract, 9-year contract, and see if they develop also and they dominate. But I think one of the major things, I don't think is all about, I think they just want to, in the future, they want to sell. They want to sell them. It's not as if they're going to be, all of them going to play for Chelsea. Not all of them going to be playing for Chelsea. Some of them, I think they have another club in France, Starbucks there. So some of them will go over there, some will go on loan. It's not about their model. I mean, that's the way they want to go, and nobody wants that. But that is the reality right now. That some of these players won't get to their prime and won't perform, just like Modric. Right now, he's struggling. But as time goes on, maybe I still believe he's going to be a good player. Just moving from one country to another, trying to adapt to the system and everything, and then including the media. The media, they were really, really on him. So these are young players. So right now, everything like I said, the dust is settling. Everybody, Maresca right now has a number of players he's working with, and now he knows his number first team players like 11. So other ones going to be they play a role player in the team. Somebody can't believe that somebody like Neto is sitting on the bench, Phillips sitting on the Nkuku is sitting. So now he has his first 11. If you watch our game against Manchester City, everybody was everywhere. He playing Palmer out of position, playing Cook out of position. So everything was all messed up. Right now he has, like his first 11 that he wants to work on, and then from there he can make all these substitutions and everything. But I think, to the point, I don't know if this model will work a long time. Right now, it doesn't. It's just for the players. You have 9-year contract. Jackson is on 9 years contract. Palmer is on 9 years contract. Whether you perform or not, you're there. So
yeah. So Lily, what's your impression about this module that Chelsea is using, long-term contracts, having a lot of players? What was mentioned there, having players, he probably could sell them. But I hope those guys understand that there's a number of players you have to register in every tournament. And if you have players that don't register for any tournament, that means they're just training with the team B or just coming to train and going back home. There's no professional player that's going to be happy with that kind of situation. So I don't know, how do you feel about this module? You think it's going to profit Chelsea in any way going in a long term? Or some people have opined that Chelsea probably know they're going to get into FFP waters and probably be suspended from the transfer market, so that they're buying for the future in case they are suspended. They will have players that they can still call upon, because in the past Chelsea had that history. But what they used to do was buy players who are not good enough to be in the first team. They loaned. Chelsea had a lot of players loaned all over the all over Europe. So if they perform there, sometimes they sell from there and make money. Sometimes if they get good, they bring them back to the team. But these guys are buying players who think they're ready to play now and leaving them out of the team. I don't know what you have made of it, Nemi.
Yeah, I think, Bados, hit the nail on the wall. They came in, you got to understand where they're coming from. Todd is coming from a baseball kind of, American football kind of logic, where American football, American sports in general, where you buy a player, you draft a player at a young age, you give him by the year 3, year 4, he's going to be a franchise player, he's going to develop and become a great, great player in the long run. So they're doing that. And also with the fact that they're looking at, selling those players, making profits out of those players. There's there's a Brazilian kid they purchased, I've forgotten his name, and they already sold him to Saudi Arabia for a club, made a little bit of money. They're buying these players, sending them on loan, Santos to Strasbourg, where they want them to develop, and they sell them. I just read today, our former goalkeeper Petrovic is now the goalkeeper for Strasbourg. So they're doing all these things with the aim of, again, making profit out of these players. And if you observe, when they buy these players, the model is they're putting them on a very, very cheap wages. For Kopama, 5-6 years ago, maybe Abramovich would have given that, but that ball would have been at $250,000. Kopama is at £130,000 a week. All our players, Caicedo, Enzo, they have cheap. That's why they were able to they were so happy to get rid of Sterling. They wanted to get rid of Chilwell. They want to get rid of all those high budgets and get all those players. How much is Jackson making? Jackson is making less than £100,000 a week. So they are being strategic, knowing, we're going to buy these players and we're going to buy them at cheap. They're going to develop, and we're not going to pay outside the wage limit. And that's why they didn't go for Victor Osimhen.
They couldn't get
Victor Osimhen. But that
but they couldn't get,
that wage structure, they couldn't do it. So, Chelsea's in a new phase right now as fans. The idea of getting players at their peak, as Haaland is, Chelsea going to go and buy Haaland, or Chelsea going to go and buy Vinicius, or Mbappe, those days are over. Chelsea now will be going for a John Duran of Aston Villa before he blows up. Now he's blowing up.
Man,
right?
He's blowing already, man. That guy is hot, bro.
Chelsea wanted to go for him. Chelsea fans were like, oh no. So they are doing studies, they are doing data, they are going by data now and saying, we don't need to go buy. Now teams are going to go for John Duran. Guess how much they're going to quote them? 70, 80 million pounds.
Yeah.
But Chelsea was buying for 20, 30 million, maybe 6 months or 5 months ago.
Yeah, he almost went to West Ham. I don't know what happened to that transfer. The team broke down the last minute. I'm happy for him, both for him and Aston Villa. That thing did not go through, because if I'd been in Aston Villa now, it would have been a wasted.
That's the policy Chelsea is going for, and with that policy, what that means is you're not giving a coach a ready-made product. You're giving a coach to build and mold these players and teach them and do all. They are not yet developed. They are not like prime time players, So we just have to watch and see how it goes. And so far, this season, 6 games in, not bad. I would say not bad, not bad.
Okay, so let's get to Chelsea now. Yeah, with all these inconsistencies in terms of players, coaches coming. Last season it was very bad for Chelsea in the first half of the season. Second half of the season, like you mentioned, Bados, Poch picked himself up, picked the team up, and started winning matches, and surprisingly, almost even made the top 4 in the league. But they ended up, I think it was 6th last season, or was it 6th or 7th?
Yeah,
But now, this season, Chelsea has played 6 games in the league, won 4, lost 1, draw 1, and 2 conference league games, won both those 2 games, scored 3 and conceded 1. EFL game, they played, who did they play? I think Barrow or something like that, won 5-0. So in the league, they have scored 15 goals, conceded 8. In the conference league, scored 3, conceded 1. So what have you guys made of Chelsea's performance this season?
Our performance this season has been, it's been average. I can say that there's a lot of difference between this season and the last season. So last season, for example, 6 games in last season, we only had 5 points. This season, 6 games in, we have 13 points. So we are moving on the right path.
Yeah.
And then the whole of last season, 38 games, we had only 8 clean sheets. And this season, 6 games in, we have 2 clean sheets. That's a good number. If they can continue like this, it will be, they will make, there's no question they will make top 4 or even win the league. I want to say that again before Mimi, so the numbers are there. We scored, it's official. 6 games in, Chelsea has the best attack in the league right now. We scored 15 goals. I think we consider like 7 in the league.
Yeah, 7 or 8. Yeah, we consider 8 goals in the league. Scoring 15. That means every 2 goals you score, you consider
average of 2 goals in a game. So if the defense can get their act together, Chelsea will shoot up. I can tell you that. Everything is looking good. Our ball recovery is good. Conversion rate is better this season than last season. Last season we had like a 18% goal conversion rate. This season is up 26. So there are many ways this team can really hurt a team. There are many ways. Last season we didn't have the bench. Poch never had a bench. At some point last season we had like 12 players, first team players that were injured. Poch never had that. Maresca has that. He has a deep squad that can win anything. Tomorrow we are playing the Conference League. I believe that Chelsea should be winning that Conference League because we have the depth, we have the squad to play that Conference League. So Maresca right now, I know what he's trying to do. He's playing he's trying to play from the back, but it's very slow. And then you get Sanchez making all these silly mistakes. So as time goes on, I think they will get better. The midfield is working out. I'm glad Lavia is back in. So I want to see Lavia and Enzo together. I want to see how that midfield plays out. That combination of players. But right now, the team is doing well.
So, let me ask you, Maresca's appointment, what did you make of it before now? And what do you think, what has he brought to the team as a manager?
Yeah, Maresca, that was an appointment that, first of all, when Pochettino left, most Chelsea fans were surprised when we heard that news.
I was too.
Towards the end of the season, it seemed after the Arsenal game, everything started clicking. Cucurella getting into midfield. The players were now responding to stimulus. And if you don't forget, we could have been in the top 4. If not for some...
That's what I said, yeah. Just almost made top 4.
Yeah, so when he was let go, we were surprised. And when Enzo came in, again, there was skepticism. Fans were not like, this man, only 1 season at Leicester, you've given him the keys. But I kept telling people, the management and the new Chelsea owners were looking into Arsenal because Arteta left Man City, left Pep, went to Arsenal, they gave him time. And that's why when Enzo was hired, they kept talking about this a project. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. They kept letting the fans know we're going to be going through the Arsenal model. So when we went to preseason, I believe Bados and so many Chelsea fans were like, oh, here we go again. The defending was porous, Tosin, Fofana, Cowell, running all the way to the middle, and Sanchez making mistakes. And we're like, oh my God, are we back to this season again? The first game of the season, the second game, we saw that the first 3 games we had 4 points. And we were like, this is the same cycle all over again. But the players, the last 3 games, the players have had 9 points. They are smashing in the goals. They are playing with confidence. There's nothing like confidence. One man down, Reece James is out. There's Gusto running that wing, doing his thing. The other week, Fofana didn't play center back. Guess what? Tosin was in there, shouldering the back. Fofana comes in. This week takes over. So Caicedo, what do you call him? The first game, everybody was so in love with Labia. Oh my God. He's a wonderful talent. He has to stay healthy. But if he's out, you have Caicedo doing the job. You even have Viega coming in now. And in the forward line, oh my God, Kopama. We're talking about Kopama. We're talking about Sancho. We're talking about Neto. We're talking about Madueke being the new, doing his thing right now. And Nicholas Jackson and Nkunku going for back and forth. This week, Nkunku scores a brace or a hat-trick. Next week, Jackson scores 2 goals. So there is that assemblance. And if you remember the first game, Palmer played from the left. He wasn't at, and Chelsea like put him as a 10 and guess what? We had a coach that listened. The second game, he brought Palmer into his position. And we have seen the miracle that has happened. And, we'll keep going. Again, with this team right now, we have a first team and we have a bench of players that can come in at any time. The only place I see weakness in the team right now is in that defense line, especially the center backs. And
so let me ask you guys. Sorry, me to cut you short. Just part of what you're saying. Somebody that has not really watched Chelsea games this season. Tactically, what has Maresca done in that team that has made this team? But those mentioned a few seconds ago, a few minutes ago, which I agree with. This season Chelsea added Sancho, added Joao Felix, and added there's one other player that came in. Neto. These are 3 very, very exciting forward players. So in your attack, you have about 7 players that could virtually start for any team, if not any team, most teams in EPL. So which means he is blessed with options. If this one is not working, another one comes in. One of the notable one amongst them is Sancho. We know his struggles in Manchester United. He did well in Dortmund, came back, seeking work in United, and he's in Chelsea now, enjoying his life, playing off Jackson and Palmer and doing well. So what has Maresca? Is there anything you have noticed apart from these players being talented and knowing, playing well? Is there anything that he has done in that team that you think that is making Chelsea at least get results for the moment? At the moment,
I think, I think he has given the players confidence. A player like Madueke before, although he's still we call him selfish player, but you could see that confidence in Madueke. You could see that uplift, that uptight. You see a Caicedo. Caicedo did say last season, that price tag really worried. We don't know what players are going to. Every week he came in, that price tag, the most expensive player, he couldn't settle in. There was a lot of, another thing that has helped us, injuries. As Bado said, we don't have those much. Before last season, like 11, there was a time they did, I don't know, Bado, if you remember, they did a Chelsea first team and the second team of injured players. Players were falling like fly. We don't have that again. And the team is confident. Now we know Chelsea for the first time in like 3 years, we can tell our starting 11. And me and Bados can sit here, write a starting 11, and we'll be off with maybe one player. We know who is coming in. And Chelsea before now, nobody knew who was going to play left back, right back. Is it going to be Chilwell? Is it going to be Cucurella? Center back, are we using Badeshile today or Thiago Silva or who? There was so much on and off, the players didn't have confidence, and now he has brought that confidence in, and his style of play too is, his direct style of play too is really helping players like Nicola Jackson. You can see that in their performance. Jackson is a different Jackson than last year.
Okay, what else? Do you have anything to add to that? What do you think Maresca has tactically brought into that team that it's making things to click? Nimi mentioned, or was it you that mentioned Lavia there? It looks like Lavia Caicedo combo works well. You said you would love to see Lavia Enzo, see how it's going to work in case Caicedo is not there. Going forward, what has he done in that front line that is making them now score goals now?
No, nothing really much. If you watch from last season, right?
Yeah.
We started inviting was inviting the left back. He's still doing the same thing. So what Maresca is doing is just little pockets, like little passes. During Pochettino, you could go from back to forward like that. But now it's short passes that we do, from the back, and then the midfielders are playing like a box. They're interchanging little by little with Enzo. Enzo is moving forward a little bit, but he's also dropping back. He comes back to pick up the ball from the defense, and all those little pockets in the midfield. Really, Enzo, the thing that is really working for Chelsea right now is because these guys have played together for 1 year. Last season, our last game against Brighton on Saturday, right? Our first goal that was scored by Palmer. When Jackson got that ball, he was heading to the goalpost, right? Last season, he wouldn't make that extra pass. He will not make that extra pass. He will try to go dribble the goalkeeper, eventually will miss it, or maybe, something will happen. But now, everybody's playing like a group. I told you the other day that Madueke too, last season, he wasn't falling back to defend. He wasn't. And Modric wasn't doing the same thing. Those people, defensively, they are weak. But this season, Madueke, I think he's learning from Saka. You have to fall back and help your defense. The only thing he has to change, I'm talking about Madueke, is stop being selfish. There was a ball on Saturday that he was giving to Enzo in the ball. So these are little things that these guys need to know. Sometimes you don't score. Sometimes you grab your assist. That's what matters. As long as the team is playing and the team is winning, that's what matters. You don't want to be in the news every week. Exactly. But they have to learn. They are learning. It's just that this time around, the more you win, the more the feel good factor is coming out, the momentum. That's what I always tell you. If you look at your training, everybody's smiling. They shoot around. Everybody's having fun. Why? Because they are winning. Now the press is not on them. The media and the pundits, they're not saying anything. So when the press are out of your business, out of your business, and you're winning games, nobody remembers what you know what I mean. So right now, I think whatever they are doing is really working because you can see the numbers. They are scoring goals. They are getting in the midfield. They are getting Caicedo, Enzo. They are getting the 50-50 ball, and which is very important. It's just for them to defensively be good.
Yeah. Maybe when Maresca was appointed as a Chelsea coach, if they were the skeptics then they were looking at his performance at Leicester. Obviously, that's the only point of reference. And yes, in the beginning of the season, he blew teams away in the championship. And about 10 games to go, Leicester almost threw away the gap, the lead. If not for the lead that they had in the championship, they probably would have lost their position. And which means it was struggling defensively. Coming to Chelsea now, Chelsea are winning games. But if you look at it with a defensive eye, there's issues defensively. I know there are some individual mistakes, like for the goalkeeper and stuff like that. And I'm a firm believer that when a coach comes into a team, the first thing you do is to build the team, make the team difficult to beat. then you can develop going forward. But it looks like you're starting from the front and going backwards. Do you think that this is sustainable, or what can be done to make Chelsea a little bit more difficult to beat? Then they can grow from there.
Just as I was saying before, you made that comment. Our biggest place of improvement will be our defense. There are some games where you have to grind like the Jose Mourinho's grind a 1-0 victory. Right now, I look at this team, they wouldn't be able to do that. The defense gives out goals. And now what is sustaining us is our proficient attack.
Attack, yeah.
Like foreign. So there are games that you need 1-0 to grind it out. This team wouldn't be able to do it. From the goalkeeper, Sanchez looks very shaky with his feet, still doing what Sanchez does. And it doesn't give the players confidence. When Petrovic came in last season, if you remember, the defense and the players, they kind of improved because they had a goalkeeper that they believed in. With Sanchez, you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting. And that defense of Colwill, Fofana still needs some rebooting. And hopefully that will be something they would work on. But I see that for now it's not sustainable. If we play a good team, we will be exposed. And once they score, and what I'm watching is the moment they score us, what happens to those players? Against Man City, their heads dropped.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. I want to ask you guys, who are the leaders in that team? Because it looks like everybody is a young man running around. When things like Nimi just mentioned right there, when they go in good stuff, but as you just mentioned it, if you're winning games, everybody is happy. But we know that in EPL, we know in football, no matter the league, there's going to be times when it's going to be rough. It might be 2-3 games. It might be you lose one, you lose two. How do you get back to winning ways? That's when you call on your experienced player. That's when you call on your leaders. Who are the leaders in the Chelsea team right now that can dig this team out of that emotional disturbance when they go and get stuff?
I can say the leaders there will be Chua, but he's not playing.
Yeah.
With James, he will soon be back. I saw him on the grass the other day. So those are the two people. You have Chua, you have Rhys James, and then maybe Enzo. The rest are all, we don't have leaders like Arsenal and Manchester City or Liverpool. Right now, we just have to play. And when you have all these, we have the youngest team in the league. When you young players, that's what you get. You get up and down, But yeah, we don't have leaders. When it gets tough, I think what will bail them out will be the attack. Right now, like Mimi was saying, it's obvious now that Cornwall has taken that position. So it's left for Fofana and Tosin, who's going to pay them, or maybe Dizazi. Right now, Dizazi is third in the pecking order. So I like Tosin a lot. I like him for one thing because of the passes he makes from defense to the middle.
He's a ball playing center back.
The ball playing, I like him a lot. I want to see him more with Cole because I know as the season goes, there are going to be injuries. So the earlier you start pairing Cole and Dizazi or Cole and Tosin, or even Badisiel and one other person, give them the confidence because this is going to happen. There's going to be injuries. Cole might be injured tomorrow. You have to find somebody. So if they're not playing week in, week out, it might affect us down the road. And you need your guys to be ready. So if Maresca, one thing he has to do right now, when we play at home, give Badisiel and maybe Dizazi, play them one of those games. Let's see what's going to happen because you can't depend on Cornwall and Fofana every game. You have to play Cornwall, Tosin, or Cornwall and Dizazi. Let these guys get the confidence because as time goes on, the team, there's going to be injuries. You're going to call on somebody.
Yeah, of course. So let me ask you, Nimi, give me 3 players in Chelsea that have to stay in form, perform for Chelsea to have a good season. Stay fit and stay in form.
I'll come to your point, but with what Bados was saying, Badiashile, Disasi, and
Tosin.
Tosin, those players play in the UEFA Cup. I mean, in the UEFA Conference League. So they have game time that they play. And that week, Disasi played there and he had a stinker. The last UEFA, he was a right back. He had a stinker. And that's why, if you saw Fofana had to go play right back, right? And they had a Tosin and Colwell. So he's still trying to figure that out. Tosin, I think when we play against big teams, we will be exposed a lot because he lacks the pace that Fofana has. He's a good ball-playing centre-back, the best. Because remember, he came up from Manchester City Academy. He has that ball-playing technique, but he lacks the pace to cover
and sometimes can be overly ambitious too. I want him in Fulham. Sometimes, he does it. He doesn't. Sometimes doesn't know when to play safe.
Yeah, and you asked the question: who are the three players? It is obvious that the three players that Chelsea needs to get going, that we need to be in top form for us to carry go. We have to get from each place. I will give you a player. In the defense, I think the leader in that defense will be Levi Colwell until our skipper decides to stop skipping games and start playing. That's Reece James. On the midfield, Caicedo is the man there. Caicedo is a key player there. Very, very key. What he brings to Chelsea, there's no player in that skill set that brings what Caicedo brings to Chelsea. You could play him as a 6. You could play him as a box-to-box. And you could play him as a right. He has versatility to play everywhere. Yeah. That defense. The last player who, as we all know, is ice cold baby Palmer. Palmer has to be, we have to make sure that he's cold. And that means Bulu's made a good point last season, and that shows you the growth and confidence of our players. Last season, Nicholas Jackson will put his head down, dribble, go reach post and fall on the ground. But this season, you see, he has that mindset to pass the ball, lay it, and when they score, he's doing his hand. I'm the one. So you could see that game is their games are, and that's what I'm saying, confidence. The players have confidence. We just have to shut. Once Chelsea will be scary, once we could sort that defense out. The moment we could go 2-3 games without conceding a goal, but as a goalkeeper, I know, as a defender, once the defense, what's killing that team right now is Sanchez. The defense are playing panicky. I bet you if you have like Manuel Neuer, Chelsea sign Manuel Neuer tomorrow, the players you see right now, that mindset will be different because they know deep inside they have a good keeper. We cross the center back doesn't know if Sanchez is coming out. Is he going back? The ball on his feet. We don't know if he's going to be able to trap it. So there's always this if and but with Sanchez. So if we could figure that out, I think the sky will be the limit. Just fans and of other teams should be really, really worried about the Chelsea.
Honestly, I agree with you. Chelsea looks very, very scary. As a rival fan, the only thing that I have that's making me relax is, like you guys mentioned, this is a young team. There's going to be inconsistencies. On the other hand, Maresca, based off of his history in Leicester, it looks like he's not changing. He's playing the same way. And like you mentioned, I know that defensively Chelsea have struggles. The goalkeeper is not to be trusted. And right now, Chelsea cannot really go and buy. These players have to work one way or the other, and it's going to take a little bit of time. So they're going to lose games. They're going to drop points. But when it comes to big teams that are willing to attack Chelsea is there to match them toe to toe and take chances. But to close, let me ask you guys. Let me put you on the spot. Give me a number. Where do you see Chelsea finishing this season?
If I say this again, Mimi will be like, oh, yeah. Like, if Chelsea can, let me say it like this, if we can get our defense together, I see them winning it or maybe second, but we're going to be in the Champions League. There's no question about that. But we have to get our defense together.
So when you say if they get their defense together, you mean Chelsea will finish above Liverpool or Arsenal or City?
Okay, so what I mean is, we're going to be in the top 4. So
if you say they get their defense together, they probably will win the league or come second.
Yeah. So
that means finishing above Liverpool and Arsenal.
so let me say this: Arsenal and Aston Villa, one or two of those things has to move for Chelsea to get in there. That's the fact. And I hope it's Arsenal,
Okay.
so that they can move over, so we can go forward. You know,
Okay.
yeah.
Maybe what do you think Chelsea is going to finish this season?
I think Bados is here again with some Bados.
I told him, I told Avia, this is straight talk.
I
You know,
think,
but
the viewers,
let's not use the Batman mind to talk here. This is straight
I was thinking Bados has gone to the River Jordan to go and get baptized and come back as Bados. But I will say this: in all seriousness, the Chelsea that I see will finish. I think a top four. So you're looking at the top Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool will still be in the top three. You wouldn't be taking them away. I think we'll be able to shelve Aston Villa out of that top four and finish fourth this season.
Okay, guys. Our viewers, we heard it from the Chelsea fans out there. This is from your coven. This is from your chat group. They've come out here. They've said what I think are the most vastly Chelsea fans' minds in regards to the past and the present. The present coach, the players, and this season. Like I said, so far Chelsea have been very potent scoring goals, but they are considered one goal out of every 2 goals that they have scored, which is not very, very good. And we hope that Chelsea will improve on it. But it looks like you want to say something.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, for the past 2 seasons now, Arsenal has been,
No, today is about Chelsea, no Arsenal today.
Yeah. I'm not talking about Arsenal, but I'm just giving you an example. So Arsenal has been very close, they've fallen short 2 times already. What happens this season? Chelsea goes and grabs the EPL this season. What would be your thought?
Yeah, I don't feel Chelsea has what it takes to win the league, and because of the quality of the other teams in the league. Manchester City are always favorites. They've won it 4 times straight. It's not a fluke to do that. So for you to displace them, we have seen what Arsenal is going to. Let's remove the Arsenal and Chelsea team on one side. Look at the job that was done. If he was in another regime, I'm sure Arsenal would have been champions by last season. So each time they increase the momentum, their momentum ability, Manchester City goes 1 gear more and take the league from you. With all the noise about the club in Liverpool, 9 years, he won the league just once off City. That tells you what's going on. So for Chelsea to just come from nowhere with all these things we have discussed here to win this league, I don't see it happening. Not because I'm an Arsenal fan, but I don't just see it happening. So, but if that happens, because in football, sometimes you can't really say never, you can't really say never. Then that's football. For it to happen, that means Manchester City had a very bad season, and Arsenal did. Because for Chelsea to win that league, they had to beat City, maybe in the next game, beat Arsenal 1 or 2 games, beat Liverpool. For them to have a chance. And the thing is that you're not going against Arsenal or against Liverpool or against City. You're going against 3 teams who are in form, who are going to be there. So you really need to do a big magic to achieve that. But we'll see how you go. If it happens, of course, it's football. You accept it and you move on to the next season.
Well, we have to play Liverpool, I think, in 3 or 4 weeks. So we'll see. By the time we go to Anfield, we'll see where we are, right?
Yeah, a lot of Chelsea fans have said it. After November, then Chelsea fans can actually sit down and say, this is the team that we have. I think in that span of games, 5 games, you're going to play Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester United or something like that. So by the time you go through those games, that's when exactly you can say this is where Chelsea is going to be this season. Yeah, guys, thank you for stopping by. Now, viewers, don't forget. No, let Chelsea fans please bombard that comment section. Let's hear what you think about these comments and these views from your family members. And next week we will move to Manchester United, and we'll be on this show. Like I said, we're going to be looking at contemporary issues. This is a safe place to be objective, no banter, no emotions. Just trying to look at these teams and see what they are doing. And I will see you guys next week. Ciao.